Okay, everybody. So we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Luis. I'm the Director of Customer Success over here at Map My Customers. And today what we're going to be going over as part of our Apollo webinar series and really, making sure you all have a good introduction into Map My Customers Apollo is to go ahead and go over the mobile app. So the mobile app will look and feel the same across both the Android app and the iPhone/iPad app. So that's what we'll be going over today. Just so that you all know, we have already set up a session that's recorded and available online on our YouTube page for our actual web version of this webinar. So we've already completed the web webinar, and that's available on our YouTube page. And we also have more web-specific content available on our support portal that you can find by going to mapmycustomers.me. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump in directly into the web app. So sorry, into the mobile app. All right, so right here, I am signed in to my Map My Customers Apollo account. I do want to point out a couple of things though, so I'm actually going to sign out to show you what it looks like from the very beginning. I'm going to click log out right here. So when you download the Map My Customers Apollo app for the first time, say if this is your first time on Apollo, or you're just kind of, logging in, if you're switching over from Legacy to Apollo, these are the different pages you'll see. You'll see here the introduction, a couple of key highlights of Apollo, and then the option to log in or sign up. Most of you today already have your account set up, so we'll go through the process of logging in. Now, the reason why I do want to go through this process is because some people have the issue where their passwords may have changed over time, may not remember the password. There is the option within the mobile app here where it says forgot password. If you click on the forgot password option, what's going to happen is going to ask you to submit your email address in case you need to reset the password. It'll send you an email immediately prompting you through the process to your email to set and change your password. So once set up, we'll go ahead and log in. Okay, so once we log in, you'll quickly be brought into, and again, if this is the first time you're in Map My Customers, you'll see this. This is what we call the mobile product tour guide. What's happening now is you get a couple of quick, just step-by-step instructions of how to navigate through the mobile app. So you'll see here it's showing you that at the very top you see accounts, and we are going to go over accounts, contacts, and deals. This is a big difference between the legacy Map My Customers and the Apollo Map My Customers. On the legacy Map My Customers, you just had a pin that was a contact, it was also a company, and it was also a deal. That pin kind of represented everything. If you had multiple contacts at a specific company, you needed to make multiple pins. Well, that's no longer the case with Map My Customers Apollo. Now you can have a specific section just for your companies or your accounts, a specific section for your contacts, and a separate section for all of your different deals. This allows you to better structure and organize your data in a way that's actually efficient and lets you keep track of different things at the same time, all while centralizing everything under the umbrella that is the account. So we'll click OK next. The plus button on the top right will be how you can go ahead and add accounts, contacts, deals, or even activities really easily. This is what we call the universal creation button. There is a mini menu option. That is whenever you see this logo of Map My Customers at the top left, which is the logo of the application itself, you click on that, that'll prompt up a menu where you can log out, change your password, change your email address, etc. And then at the very bottom, you have your actual navigation bar where you see the different options you can click into. You can look at things from the map perspective. Manage gives you the list perspective. Teams to see your team if you have it set up. You have the routing optimization, and then more going into the settings. And then we'll go ahead and conclude this. We'll skip this because we'll go over these in detail. All right, perfect. So going again into just what you can see at a glance when you're on Map My Customers for the mobile app. At the very top, you have the menu that you can click into. Now, this prompts up several options here. You can change your password, watch some online demos, visit our blogs, see our help center, log out, etc. You have a lot of options actually by clicking into that. So this actually ends up being a very useful feature right here to click into this. And the big reason why that's helpful is because if you ever have questions as far as how to use a certain feature, how something works, or want to reach our help center, you can easily access that by clicking this top left button. Now going back at the very top, we have several button options. This magnifying glass is a search bar. This search bar is really powerful and spans across everything. So with this search, you can search for specific notes, search through custom fields, search through accounts, contacts, and deals. So this is the universal search. So if I were to search for Map My Customers, it's going to bring over everything that I have with respect to Map My Customers already here. This refresh icon is in case you ever make a change on the application that takes time for it to load. You refresh it, and that'll show up. So this could be in scenarios where you're adding new leads to Map My Customers. You click the refresh button, and it'll populate. The funnel icon you see right here, which we'll go to in a second as far as how it works, is how you can apply filters. Filters can be run through across various fields, across accounts, contacts, and deals. And it can also include filtering by groups. And lastly, as we mentioned, we have the plus button right here, which you can create anything and everything from. Now scrolling to the bottom, this little target looking icon, this actually ends up becoming very useful because as your location where you're driving around throughout the day, as salespeople, you're always on the go, always on the move. As your location changes, this will help you keep that up to date by clicking on it, and it'll also zoom you in. Why it's helpful when it zooms you in is because if you have pins or any accounts near your specific area, you'll be able to quickly just see, which ones are actually closest to you, and click through and navigate through each potential account you might want to visit. Then you see here 1,192 pins shown. This tells you how many accounts you have visible to you. And when you click on that, it's actually going to zoom you out and give you a quick overview of everything. And then lastly, we have this toolbox. It's a handy toolkit where you can lasso to do mass edits on the map or show traffic to see where the most densely busiest areas are on there. All right, so now getting into some of the actual details. We'll go ahead and zoom in to the area of New York, for example, that we have set up. Just want to show you all through some basic navigation of what you can kind of look through when it comes to the accounts. You can click through here. Let's say I want to find a specific account. I click on the pin, and it's going to pop up the name of the account itself with the option to easily route or call, or even email. So this is really helpful. You can easily just touch to do these things from within the mobile app as long as the information is already available. So if this account has an address, it'll give you the option to route to it. If it doesn't, this will be faded out. If this account has a phone number, it'll give you the option to call to it. If not, it'll be faded out. And the last one, it's kind of hard to see right here, is the email. Email is faded out because this account does not have an email. But if I want to route to it, I just click on route, and it takes me directly to Google Maps. So a common use case of Map My Customers typically tends to be, hey, I'm in this area, I'm out in the field. I don't need to use routing because I'm more strategic to my account management approach because I want to actually handpick which accounts I see. And then this is an easy way to do that handpicking, pinpoint where which accounts are in the area, and then choose who you want to route to. Now what we can do is go ahead and actually click in and pull up the account form. Now this is all the account profile information. This ranges from the name of the account itself all the way through to what custom fields, what other contacts are associated with it, and any deals that could be opened with it. So as we look through here, we have at the very top the option to add activities. We'll go over activities in a quick second. Activities is the new way for all you legacy clients that we now use check-ins. Activities can essentially be a reflection of the sales calls you're doing today, but you can also set up another follow-up activity combining the old reminders feature to be able to set follow-up tasks or events for the future. So say that you visit a client today, we'll go ahead and add the activity. Activity title is a visit, or what was this visit about? First time seeing Bob. Great. I can go ahead and type in my note. I can be specific as to what type of activity this was. So the activity type is very helpful. It helps you actually define and narrow and focus what types of sales calls are you doing throughout the day? What sales activities are you actually doing throughout the day? Let's say this was a product drop off. This is a custom one. Okay, I'm done there. And I did this at 12:17 p.m. So you can choose a time right there. You can put how much time this particular event took. It could be 50. And then if you had any contacts here, you would put in the contacts or the deal. So you can associate activities or your different sales calls with multiple layers of Map My Customers, from accounts to contacts all the way through to deals. And since this is something that we've already done, I'm going to go ahead and mark this as completed. So this is really important. When you mark something as completed, that means that you've effectively completed that event or that task. If you don't, if it looks like this means that you haven't done this thing yet. So if you haven't done this and then the time passes and it's past 12:16 p.m., this then becomes an overdue activity. Time has passed and you haven't done this. If you have set this up to and have not done it yet, but it's for the future, it's just an activity coming up in the future. But if we've already done this, let's say that we have for this case, we'll mark it as completed, we'll save it, and now we'll set a follow-up. Add an activity again, follow up with Bob. Today is his birthday. And then I can change the time and date, let's say to Tuesday, same time, and then I'll save it. And now I just set up a follow-up activity with Bob. And I'll show you all in a moment where you can see that information. But that's activities in a nutshell. Activities, it's still really straightforward, it's really simple. It requires a couple of more steps now, but you actually gather a lot more information with activities. And it's meant to be a really helpful way for you all to monitor what sales types of calls and events you're doing out in the field. So now as I scroll through here further, a little bit more information within the account. You have the general details of the account all the way from the account name through to the coloring, right? Being able to set up the color coding scheme and system for different accounts is easily doable from the mobile app right here. Now you have a nice color palette to actually see what kind of colors you're dealing with. You have a section specifically for the address. This can easily be updated. So say that I'm out at this account right now, but the address on file is actually incorrect. It's really easy to update. Just click on this little target button, and it'll update the location to exactly where you're at. You click the car icon, and it'll take you to your preferred navigation app for the turn-by-turn navigation details. And now at this section here, we have custom fields. Custom fields are something that you set up directly on the website. So if you want to add custom fields, or if you want to see what custom field options are available to you, this is all going to be driven through the website. But custom fields is a big upgrade for Map My Customers Apollo, especially when referring back to the legacy. On the legacy application, the custom fields were all really text-based. So you had to actually type in every single thing, and there was no way to really keep the data clean or consistent. With Apollo, now you have the option to set different types of custom fields. It could be drop downs, could be monetary values, could be a text box, multiple options that you can customize it to your flavor. So for example, I want to choose the industry. I'll click on that, and I have multiple options. And I can select multiple of these. So this one might cover both manufacturing and healthcare, or manufacturing and machinery, as is often the case. And then we'll click done. So now you see these two selected. What lead stage is this in? Let's say that it's been pitched. And these are just drop downs that I customized and made. You can make these drop down options whatever you want them to be on the website app. And this is what it'll look like on the mobile app. Region as well. So I'll just fill out a few more. This date one is very helpful because it could be used in whatever manner you want. And these are just different examples, right? People maybe want to track what products other clients are buying from them, what products prospects are interested in. The whole, well, world is your opportunity here when it comes to custom fields. So you can really make this whatever you want. All right, so once I made the changes that I want, I'll go ahead and click Save on the top right. And just like that, it'll take you back out. And now when we go to the Manage section, as you can see, the pin has moved from the map because now it's no longer where it was originally. I changed the location. To see the most recently updated information, I will go to Manage, and we'll find that this account is at the very top. I can go back in and review the changes that have been made successfully. So just like that, we've added our activity. We updated information because we were at the client, at the prospect, or at the account, and we know more about them. And we did that all, within a couple of minutes using Map My Customers. And it's really easy to use on mobile, as you can tell. It's meant to be very mobile friendly. And when we scroll down, you can actually see your activities broken down. So you have it broken down based on the order. The most recent one completed is at the very top. The ones coming up in the future, sorry, it's the reverse. The ones that are coming up in the future are at the very top. So here's the follow-up itself. And then the ones already that have been done in the past or just have passed, generally speaking, because of time, they're at the bottom here. So this is always how the order is going to be. Upcoming or most recently completed at the very top. And when you see this green icon, that means that that activity was completed, whereas anything that's grayed out has either not been completed or has been passed due. And you can always click in and see the notes. And now below on this section is where you can actually go ahead and easily manage more information about this account, but going into different aspects or features in the Map My Customers. So under the Contacts section, I can click Manage and directly associate specific contacts to this account. So I can associate Contact 101 directly to this account, and I'll click Done. Perfect. I associated Contact 101. This contact is part of this account. Or I can click on Manage and easily make and create a new contact. To continue to add, as you are visiting more prospects, more accounts out in the field, you meet more relevant contacts, you can easily pull up this account and navigate through to create a brand new contact as part of this account. So we'll call this one Luis, 234567890, support. And now I'm just filling out the information as you might out in the field and organizing it here. And here we have a specific section for custom fields as well. And the really nice part, again, what Mapalo does go back to custom fields. We have a specific set of custom fields about the account, so you can actually gather information about the account that's separate than the contact or the deal. For example, it's hard to put a personality type to an actual account, but for each contact, you can do that. We'll click on Choose Option, and we'll say, Luis is a type B person. And then we'll hit Done. You have the option to fill out address details in case this contact's located somewhere differently than the account. But if they're not, you can just easily click Inherit from Account, and it'll populate the address from the account. And then we click Save. And now that we've done this, we have Luis and Contact 101. Again, starting at the top level, working from the way from the account down to the contacts to be able to add and manage more of these contact individual people relationships on Map My Customers. Then from here, you have the option to associate accounts with groups. We'll go over grouping in a second. But grouping is how you can segment and filter and visualize data. So I want to add it to the Atlantic region. Deals will be very similar to the contacts, where you can add existing deals to this account or add a brand new deal and call this deal 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the deal section, let me take a step back here. It's actually very, very helpful. Deals in Map My Customers, you can imagine as being more useful for managing prospects and keeping track of various stages of the pipeline. So this is what it looks like to fill out a deal on the mobile app. You have the name of the deal, which could literally be just the name of the client or the prospect. You can put in how much this deal is worth. Let's say it's 20,000. The score is just your own rating of the deal. This is a score of 75. The closing date is very helpful because you can actually try to forecast out when you expect deals to close in. Let's say that I expect this to close in November 15th. The account is already set up. I can associate a contact with it. And when I click on contact, this is actually very helpful. The contacts you can associate with deals will only be the ones that are associated with that account. So now it automatically shows me only two options. And I'm going to associate Luis with this particular deal. I can go ahead and select which funnel. So you can set up multiple funnels in Map My Customers Apollo, which is nice because you can set up funnels to be focused around prospecting versus upselling, or maybe even funnels for different product lines. You can really customize and make as many funnels as you need. So we'll go ahead and choose a prospecting funnel. And then we'll put this in the negotiation stage. And then lastly, we have the custom field section. So this is where it gets to be very helpful to have custom fields in Map My Customers Apollo. You can have examples such as this. For each deal, you should have an agenda. As you approach a prospect, what is your game plan? What's your action plan for this prospect? How are you going to approach them? That should be the agenda itself. What are the actual objections that happened? You want to keep track of that, right? Maybe as you keep track of that over time, you get better and prepare better for these calls and know how to address objections. Or you can go ahead and have anticipated objections, which in this case, we made as a dropdown. Why might people decline us or want to decline us? Could it be, competitors already in there? Pricing is just way too competitive for us to compete at. Were we in there too early? Did we not offer the products they need, etc.? So you can fill this all out easily on the mobile app and really gather information that helps you as you're going out in the field. So we'll go ahead and save this. All right. So once it saves, it brings me back, and now I can see that the entire relationship from the account level here that we're at, which is Advantage Care Physicians, all the way through to any activities, any contacts, groups, and now the deals. And you can always search for the account or the deal and pull up the information and easily view exactly what deals you might have open, what opportunities exist out in the field today. And we'll go into routing in a couple of seconds here. But this is essentially a summary of how you can navigate through and work through as an account-based process and system in Map My Customers, identifying which businesses, which accounts you want to visit, logging those sales calls through the activities feature, and then continuing to take advantage of the full scope of Map My Customers Apollo by navigating through your different contacts, navigating through your different deals and opportunities, and always, always, always keeping the data up to date. So now we'll go ahead and back out, and we're going to navigate back into the map. I do want to just make a quick point here. We do have different views available across accounts, contacts, and deals. The deals map being very helpful because when you select a map that has deals in it, we want to see all of our prospects. You can toggle on a legend, and this will show you exactly where all of your deals are. Break it down by size or by deal stage. Let's say I want to see all the ones in negotiation. It'll show me just those. Or all the pitched ones, then it'll show me just those there. So I do see a question here from Angelica. For activities, can this be set to different choices to select from a dropdown? So for activities, yes, the activity types themselves are all set up from the web app. So you can customize and rename these activities to whatever you want them to be. And that's all driven directly from the web app. And if you have a CRM integration, we always try to mimic the activity type options to be exactly what you have with your CRM integration as well. But that type of setting is all set up and can be customized directly from our web app. Okay, so we're going to get back into the classic Map My Customers tools, going directly into the routing feature. Being able to easily map out some routes and keep track of who you're visiting. As you can see, I clicked on routing directly here. and you have the different routes of your options right here. We're going to go ahead and click Add New Route. And from here, you have several options of what you can do just to start out. There's a lot of options kind of tucked away and that might not be as straightforward, so I do want to take the time to go through each individual option with you all. So when we look at this and we zoom in further to all the pins that we have in the area, you can do a few things. You can, since we're in the process already of making the route, you can click on each pin and add them individually. Say this is the account you want to visit and you can tell by the name, you'll click Add to Route. And you can quickly do this through many of them. For whatever reason, you want to add several of them this way, it's totally fine. Maybe you want to pinpoint and click through and just find specific ones. That works just fine too. You can click on them again to remove these stops. So the same way you add them is the same way you can remove them. Now the other option you have is to go ahead and search for a specific account. Say that I want to drive to Advantage Care Physicians, which is right here, perfect, at the very top. But I also want to drive to the Map My Customers office. I'll add this to this route, and we'll click Done. So now we've added 2 stops to the route, and you can always see exactly who you've added right here. If you need to remove them, all you do is swipe left and click Delete. Oop. All right. And now the other option you have here is to use this lasso button. The lasso is an easy way to do, mass grouping of data, so you can easily do mass routing. Let's say I want to build a nice little Picasso around New York. Perfect. So now what I'm essentially telling the system, I want to route to all of the pins that I've just lassoed here, and at the same time, go to the ones that I've clicked on and search for. So that's one way to just jump in and take everything that you've done on the map and get started directly with routing. Now, some people might be a little more advanced. Some people might have specific filters or want to run specific groupings with Map My Customers. So what I'm going to do instead, before starting out this way, I'm going to go ahead and back out, start a new set of routes, and I'm going to show you all how you can use our filtering options, which is very, very helpful from a routing standpoint. Say that you only want to route to the accounts that are in the state of New York. We'll click on this funnel icon right here, which is a filtering that I mentioned earlier. Add this filter. We'll look through the options and we're going to choose state. And we'll do state contains New York. And we'll apply this. And when you see that and you click on that, you see that a filter has now been run. This filter is now showing me all of the accounts on the map that have the state populated to where it actually says New York. Here we go, New York. Now, as you can see, there are several pins that were on here before that are no longer on here, even after running that filter. And obviously, we're still in New York. The reason for that is because those other pins that were on the map here did not have the state. They had the street address and the zip code and the city and actually the country, but since the state was missing, they're filtered out. So filtering can be a very helpful way to narrow things down by state, city, specific zip code, really keep that focus on the system. So now keeping this filter in mind, I ran it for a reason. So let's go ahead and lasso and try to route to all of these accounts. From Manhattan all the way through to Brooklyn. And we'll click the next button. And from here, you can go ahead and choose your starting and your ending destination. As a salesperson, I'm typically out of the house and back home. That's my approach. Some people might want to start from the airport and go back to a hotel room. You can go ahead and choose and type in an address. Like let's say that I want to start from John F. Kennedy Airport. Think of this like a Google Maps search, right? You can type in a specific search like this, and let's say I'm going to drive from John F. Kennedy and end at EWR, the New Jersey Airport. Nightmare of a drive, but has to be done. So we'll call this the New York route. So you get to name the route so you can keep it nice and organized. I recommend naming typically by date of when you use the route. If you want to recycle the route and use it often, give it some sort of terminology or name that really stands out to you that tells you like, oh, okay, this is what this route is for. Monday route, okay, this is the route that I use on Monday. Second Monday of the week route. However, second Monday of the month route, not week. However you want to set it up and organize it. Keep in mind that there's different ways you can kind of type in the names to make it special and unique to you, to make it easily readable. For route type, you have the option to optimize your route, so we'll keep that there. You do have the option to do in order route. In order is a little bit different, and what's really nice about in order is that it depends on essentially the order that you chose each pin individually in. So if you all recall at the very beginning, I was just choosing pins one at a time. In order route essentially will route to you to those pins based on the order that you pick them in, not always the fastest order. So just another option for routing. Let's say that I want to allocate about 30 minutes for each stop to give me an estimate of how long my day will take. And the start time will be 11:35. Perfect. Now we'll build the route. And now you can see starting point is the place sign right here at JFK all the way through to the stop sign being north. And we can zoom in and see how it's taking me through this optimized kind of loop in a route, right? So it's taking me from the right-hand side here all the way through down to these accounts and looping me back in through the highway and taking me through the bridge up here, back up from the very top, down through each one of these accounts to the left-hand side, and then back out to New Jersey. Pretty crazy day, but this is guaranteed to be the most optimized route just based on how long it takes you to get from point A to point B to point C to D all the way through to Z. Now say that you want to look at this from a list so that you actually know which account you're visiting on this day. You'll go ahead and scroll down and you'll see your starting location when you start the route. And this is now each stop in the way that's optimized and organized for you. So when you look at this, you know that this is going to be the fastest route for you. You know exactly where to focus on. Say you need to change the order. Say that you are trying to find the fastest route, but you have specific clients you need to see first. Really easy to do. Simply click on an account on the list here and just drag and drop. Let's say that I want to be home after seeing Batman, which is way too much for me. I need to go home. Easily change the order like that. And dragging and dropping is honestly a very helpful feature because calls may be canceled last minute. Clients may be reprioritized. Sales is one of those things that kind of just happens sometimes very randomly throughout the day. Things happen all the time. So this ability to reorganize and optimize your route is going to be very, very helpful. Now we'll click build the route. So now it's going to change the order of the route for us. Now it's a little bit, seems still very similar, but a little bit crazier as far as this. And when you scroll down, you see that Batman and Home have switched orders, and as well as a couple of other things. So now we're still in the preview mode. We're still kind of building a route. Now it's been built. It looks good to us. We verified this is the route we want. Now we'll click save. And great job. Built your first route. Now we have our New York route right here. And you get a quick at-a-glance visual of this. Scroll down to the list. This is your hit list for the day. These are the accounts that you know as a salesperson you need to see in order to have a successful day. If you don't make it to all of them, then that's fine. The route stays as it is. You can try to next week try to hit all of these stops. Or if you need to just remove some because you just can't make it to them realistically. Click edit on the top right. Again, there's an edit button on the top right. Scroll down to the bottom and you can start removing some of these stops. Rebuild your route, save, and now your route has been re-optimized again. All right. And then what's really nice about having this easily kind of organized and visual route is that as you have these stops set up for you, you can click into each stop. Now I pull up Food Bazaar, I can add my activity, mark it as completed. This is the account I wanted to see, okay. Save it. Now I'm done, and I back out, and I go to the next one. All right, Schneider, do I have anything with Schneider? Any activities here? No prior activities. This is the first time I'm seeing this account, so I'll go ahead and just add an activity. I'll mark it as completed. Done here. So you can easily still click through the different accounts, log your sales calls, log your activities, add notes, update the information of the account all in real time. And this will all, of course, update and sync back to our web app, which if you have managers you're working with on Map My Customers, a sales team, it's very important to have that data continuously sync back and forth very, very easily because they can then extract all of this directly via the reporting feature. And you can easily click through all of these car icons to get the turn-by-turn navigation for each individual account. And that's really everything when it comes to routing. All right, and one thing to keep in mind when it comes to anything that I'm showing you all today on Map My Customers for accounts, some of you may be in the door-to-door business, right? Doing door-to-door sales, whether it's security equipment, door knocking, whatever it may be. One of the things that we do offer in Map My Customers is that everything is available for contacts as well. So we have the ability to do a contact map, log activities with contacts, and then also go into contact routing. So you can navigate through both accounts and contacts depending on what your business workflow is. So next, we're going to jump into activities as its own separate tab. For the first couple of half hour that we have here, I've tried to walk you all through just a kind of specific workflow, a little more information for you all. You have the activities tab. This actually shows you the list of all the activities you've made with just based on who you've visited recently. This is one in particular is filtered by incomplete. So everything by default will be by incomplete. Say you want to filter this and see just completed activities. And you'll see all of that right there. Now say that we want to sort this based on the due date, latest first. And now all the orders will change. So the last completed activity was September 13th at 10:02 a.m. And now you have a list of the activities that you've done in the past day, week, however you want to look at this from, and keep on scrolling down. You see that all right here. Now say you want to click into it. I want to click into the first time that I'm seeing Bob, and I can see all the information right here. Say that I want to see incompleted now because I haven't gotten these done and I need to. I just change that filter at the top left, and I see all the ones that have been incompleted. So these ones that are incompleted are green and considered incompleted because they haven't been done and they're for the future. Anything red that you look at right here, these are the ones that have not been done. Time has passed and I have not been to this meeting. So you can easily click into these, or once as you do them, say that I actually did this meeting and I just forgot to click the complete button, I can just click this check mark. And now it's completed. Say I want to go a little bit further and I want to see, all right, I want to see all of my activities, but I want to see specifically all of the activities that I've had set up that are specific just to product drop-offs. And now here you can filter activities based on the activity types. Click into the various types you have at the very top, and you'll see you have product drop-off within each one. So this little gray bar is a type of activity. Below that, it'll show you the account, or the contact, or the deal, as well as when it happened. And then a couple of last items on Map My Customers Apollo, just it's things that are very popular on the legacy side that I want to make sure you're all aware of how to do as well. When we click on the maps, you can take advantage of our lead generation feature, for which we partner with Google Maps for, by clicking the Universal Creation button, clicking Account, Find New Accounts. So this is a lead generation feature. And from here, you can do a couple of really helpful and really important searches. This is where you can search for new prospects or new business. So let's say that I want to search for dental offices. I can make that search right now, and it's loading at the very bottom, as you can see. And now this is going to populate dental offices directly onto the map that I may or may not have worked with. So this is not always cross-check based on dental offices that you already have loaded from an Excel spreadsheet or you've added kind of randomly. If you add any of these dental offices from the app itself, it will skip those duplicates in the future if you add them from the lead generation feature. So let's say I want to search for dental offices, but I also want to search for management properties. So for anybody that really scopes beyond just one specific, industry or vertical, you can search for multiple keywords, and that's actually very helpful to see a map of multiple types of prospects and opportunities you want to go ahead and target. So now you have the blue pins, all the management properties, the red pins, all the dental offices. And you can zoom in and start clicking in on the ones that you want to add, one at a time if you want, or scroll down below the map itself and just start clicking through the list of which other accounts you want to add. Say you want to see more information, you can click into it. Keep on clicking through as far down as you need. And now we'll go ahead and add them to our account. And just like that, these accounts have been added. We'll go ahead and back out. We'll zoom in to the area of New York that we're in. We're going to see that those accounts are not on the map yet, but if I actually click this refresh button after doing my lead generation search, you should see that more accounts should be showing up. Let's go to the Manage tab right here. And we see that the different properties are showing up directly here, as well as the dental office. And one thing to keep in mind, when you click on Manage, as I did just now, which is different in the map view, you have a different search option. So this search is a universal search at the very top. This middle search, where it says search accounts, also exists for contacts, also exists for deals. This is typically a much more efficient or effective searching method purely because it's only searching for accounts. It's only searching for contacts, or it's only searching for deals, depending on which section you're looking at. Why this is important is because at the very top, you're searching across everything in your Map My Customers account through our entire database. This is just for accounts. So this is always going to be spot on accurate when searching and trying to find existing clients, existing prospects you have in the system. And the last section to be aware of is the settings, where you can see and set up your calendar sync with Google Calendar or your Outlook Calendar, where you can also manage to enable or disable your different activity types as well as add more. So Angelica, clarification on my side, I do apologize. You can add new activity types from the mobile app as long as you are the admin slash person that has set up the account. This is where you can also enable or disable different product types, different activity types. Say that I don't want my team to do lunches because we already have lunch and learns. I would just turn it off just like that, and that would impact for my entire team. And yeah, this is essentially where you customize and make, Map My Customers more of your experience. So this is really everything about Map My Customers Apollo on mobile in a nutshell. We covered a lot of information today. This information will be available for you all. You all will get an email afterwards with a recording of this webinar. It'll be helpful just to reference for yourself, for your team, reach out to deep dive into more questions. But I do want to take a few minutes here before closing to go ahead and let anybody that has questions today ask some questions. So we had one question come in just now. Once the activities drop down is set up, will these stay? The answer is yes. The activities drop down, once it's set up and what the different options are, it'll be at the admin level set up for your entire team. So the activities drop down list is not customizable for individual team members or team managers. But if you're the team admin slash team owner of the account, whenever you make those settings and those changes, that impacts your entire team. So you don't need to worry about setting that up for each specific rep on your team. This only needs to be applied at one level, the admin level, and that directly distributes and impacts your entire team. And one question that we also had come up here is around filtering. We looked at filtering today just within the routing aspect of Map My Customers. I do want you all to be aware, and this is kind of what this question is gearing towards. You all can still run filters on the application, on the map itself, outside of just routing. And these filters can also be run for the list of each one too, right? So say that I want to see a quick list view of all of the accounts that are in New York, same as before. Now we see only 12 accounts, and these are all the ones that have the state, New York. So these types of filters can be run on the map for the regular map, the home map, the list view, or on the routing maps as well. So you can navigate through the different filters and filter through the different fields as well as the groups you set up. Okay, so some of these questions seem to be dropping. So for today, I think this will be all. If you all do have any questions, please do reach out to either directly to your main point of contact or to support@mapmycustomers.me. After this recording is generated on our side, you all will get an email following up, thanking you for joining the webinar, which we really do appreciate, and also with a link to watch this recording whenever you need it. And as always, any questions or any feedback for us on Apollo, we put quite a lot of time working into it. Any feedback you may have, please feel free to pass it forward to us. Thank you so much for your day. Have a good day.